Good morning. Today is November the 2nd of 2021. My goodness, where has this year gone? And this is our regularly scheduled monthly meeting of the Alabama Public Service Commission. For the record, the public was notified of today's meeting by notice dated September the 29th of 2021. Thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today. And if you would, at this time, please turn your personal devices off or to vibrate so as not to disturb anyone here on the dais. And I'll do my best to remind you at the end of the meeting to turn your phone back on so as not to miss an important phone call. Today in attendance, we have to my right, Commissioner Jeremy H. Oden in place 1. To my left in place 2 is Commissioner Chris Chip Beaker Jr. I am Twinkle Andress Kavanaugh, President of the Commission. To my far right is our Executive Director and Chief Administrative Law Judge, John Gorner. And below is Mr. Walter Thomas, our Secretary. As is customary, each month one commissioner gets to bring in a friend to offer our prayer and our pledge. And this month that honor goes to Commissioner Beaker, and we have a great friend here today.
Thank you, ma'am. We sure do. His name is Wayne Harrell. He was born and raised in Homewood, Alabama, and is married to Michael Harrell. They have 3 children, 5 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. Wayne has worked with the printing and publishing business in the Birmingham area. He had a very successful career and retired with 31 years with the 3M Company. Upon retirement, they moved from Birmingham to Greene County. In Greene County, he runs a very large hunting club, and I don't think he would move back to Birmingham for anything. He and his wife attend the First Presbyterian Church in Eutaw, Alabama, and in Boligee, Alabama, and are both dedicated to their new home county. Currently, Wayne writes a weekly column for the Greene County Independent and serves on the board of directors for the Aliceville Prisoners of War Museum in Aliceville. He is passionate about the outdoors, photography, and history. And he's without a tie today because someone that he was with didn't have a tie, and he made him wear that tie. Thank you.
Should we ask who that is?
I think you can figure that out. Wayne, we're honored to have you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Will you do the prayer first?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lord, we come here today before this august body, knowing that they have decisions to make that affect people of Alabama. We pray you'll guide their every thought and help them make wise decisions for those people. And we know that making decisions like this are never simple, and sometimes hard choices have to be made. We ask you if you would be on their hearts and let them do these things that do benefit the citizens of our great state. We also pray for your guidance for our nation and the leaders that we have, and we understand and know that things that are going on are not pleasing in your sight. Please keep us safe as we travel from this meeting today. We ask for all your blessings, and we also ask for forgiveness whenever we fail you. In your holy and gracious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Certificate, Commissioner Beaker does. Thank you so much. It's a good-looking tie. Thank you for helping him out today. All right, I'll turn the floor over to Commissioner Oden for a personal point of privilege.
I just want to say, we're coming up basically on our holiday season, and just want everybody to start focusing on the little things. We need to look at Thanksgiving's coming up, and so we sit here and we look at those, and this is the time when we start looking at people with needs. And that's a good thing. And I say, start looking around at these who don't have, some stuff like we've got, and start sharing and bringing attention to that. But one of the things that I've been doing sort of in church is remembering our friends and family. And it's a time in which we all start focusing in on that. But it's a good thing just to sit down and talk to your family, talk to your friends, and sort of do away. I always got a little thing that says, do away with the negativity and bring in the nativity. And so when we begin this season, let's do something like that and just really and truthfully start thinking about the positive sides of who we are and where we are in this country, and we personally are, Madam President, just to say that, this is a great place, and we are a great country. And to focus in on that. So I just had that on my heart. I know it wasn't PSC, but it was something I wanted to say, and thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you. And I tell you, before we get started today, I do just want to give you an update about something that has happened at the commission. Many times, most of the time, in fact, when we do something, you see it all in public because of our open meetings laws. The three of us are not allowed to get together and discuss anything apart from being here on the dais because we would be a quorum if two of us were speaking. And so I say that today to let you know that 2 weeks ago tomorrow, I sent a letter to our governor asking her to please act and stop this federal overreach that we have here in the state with the vaccine mandates. I was very clear that this is not something we need to do here in the state of Alabama. I'll give you a little background about why that happened. It was brought to my attention by one of our staff with the railroad folks that said basically there was going to be a problem, and I know Scott Morris is not here today. He brought it to my attention because we have a lot of people within the railway industry here in the state of Alabama that were not planning, or so we had heard, to take the vaccine, and they were being mandated to take the vaccine. So we were concerned that there would be a problem as far as the security of our railway system here in the state of Alabama. That does affect us here at the Public Service Commission. That is why I originally sent the letter to Governor Ivey. Since then, our Attorney General, our Governor, and many other elected officials have chimed in, and in this state, it looks like everyone is on board to stop this ridiculous mandate. At the Public Service Commission, we're used to fighting federal overreach and mandates. It's been a constant since I've been here on the commission. The federal government so many times tries to reach in our lives and really wreak havoc here in the state of Alabama. We're going to fight it tooth and nail, and I'd like to say thank you to both of my colleagues for chiming in and letting folks know that we don't appreciate that mandate here in Alabama. But thank you all for giving me a few minutes to explain why it was important here at the Public Service Commission that we fight it. It's important on every level for all of our state, whether or not it's any job. Every job is important, and every mom and dad needs to keep their job in this state. So the overreach is ridiculous on all levels, but it actually affected us here at the Public Service Commission, and it's why the letter was sent out. But thank you all, and now let's get on to the business of the commission. An approval and adoption of the minutes from our meeting on October the 5th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
With there being no other old business to discuss, we'll move on to the new business of the commission, and that will be our Public Service Commission reports, and we will begin with our Utility Services Division, and that will be presented by Mr. Darrell Baker, our Division Director. Glad to see you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
did figure out that I'm not really in my 20s or 30s anymore because it takes longer to recuperate from little things. I'll begin with the Consumer Services Report and its mission. The telecommunications portion of this report is actually errant. It's from last month. I'm going to give you the correct numbers. I noticed this yesterday, but I'm going to give you the correct numbers, and I'll provide a corrected copy of the report to each commissioner's office and to Mr. Thomas for the record. Electric and gas inquiries for the period from September 23rd through October 22nd. For Alabama Power, their inquiries actually went down. There were 16 last month and 13 this month. Spire, Alabama went from 3 to 0. Spire Gulf remained at 1, and overall, inquiries for all the energy sector went down from 20 to 14. So that's a good report. Telecommunications basic services only. Of course, these numbers are wrong. I can actually tell you that for the month of October, there were 0 reports. Moving on to other retail services and issues under telecommunications. There were 6 inquiries received, all of them for internet service. Under referred inquiries, waive complaint jurisdiction, there are 17 residential, 2 business for a total of 19, and total reports received is 33. If there's no questions, I'll move to the gas agenda. This is the division report on rate RSE for both Spire, Alabama, and Spire Gulf. This is a point of test, September 30, 2021. For Spire, Alabama, the RSA return on average common equity for fiscal year ending September 30 was 10.75%, which is above the authorized range. Therefore, there will be a reduction of $2,223,672 effective December 1st. And the preliminary indication is that the company ended rate year 2021 below the cost control measurement range. For Spire Gulf, return on average common equity for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2021 was 10.88%, which was within their authorized range and results in no adjustments to rates. And they also ended the year with below the cost control measurement range. If there's no questions, I'll move to the telecommunications agenda. There are 5 items that require your approval. With your permission, I'd like to take them together under one recommendation. Under interconnection agreements, docket U 5400, Frontier Communications of the South, LLC, and Pine Belt Broadcasting, LLC, doing business as Pine Belt Telephone Competitive Services. Under docket U 5402, Dish Wireless, LLC, and Windstream of Alabama, LLC. Under amended interconnection agreements, docket U 4478, Bell South Telecommunications, LLC, doing business as AT&T Alabama or AT&T of the Southeast, and hereafter I'll just refer to that company as Bell South, and Granite Telecommunications, LLC. Under docket U 4956, Bell South and Broad River Communication Corporation. Moving to the next page, under docket U 5268, Bell South and Peerless Network of Alabama, LLC. We recommend approval.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Remaining 2 items require no commission action. They're for informational purposes only. So, subject to your questions, this concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Next, we have our Gas Pipeline and Safety Division. That division is headed by Mr. Wallace Jones. He is out today on business, and so Judge John Garner will give his report.
Thank you, Madam President.
You all have before you the report from the Gas Pipeline Safety Division. The data in the report reflects the division's activities for the month of September 2021. GPS performed 29 inspections during September of the various types that are reflected in the report. From the 29 inspections performed, 3 enforcement letters of notification were issued, noting 8 non-compliance issues. 1 non-compliance issue was corrected during the month of September. As far as incidents and accidents, there was 1 state reportable incident that occurred during the month of September. On September 14, in the territory of South Alabama Gas District, a 2-inch plastic main was damaged, which resulted in an outage for 2 customers for 4 hours. Moving on to page 2 of the report, as far as training, during September, 6 operator contractor training sessions on polyethylene, plastic fusion, and natural gas response training were conducted at various sites reflected in the report. A total of 185 personnel were qualified at those training classes. As far as other activities of note for the division, Mr. Wallace Jones, the director of the division, along with Mr. Jonathan Kimbrell and Mr. Sean Emmons, participated in the annual Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration audit of the GPS activities during the week of September 13 through 16, 2021. GPS received good reports from the audit. Mr. Kimbrell and Mr. Emmons also received praise for their participation in the audit. Numerous gas pipeline safety personnel attended the 8th Annual Alabama Damage Prevention Summit at Orange Beach, Alabama on September 27 through 30, 2021. Discussions there centered on ways to improve damage prevention activities within the state. The Alabama Underground Damage Prevention Authority was a key topic of the summit. And that concludes the report, unless you have questions.
Thank you. Next, we have our Utility Enforcement Division, and today, Ms. Amanda Sheeheen will be presenting and her title is the Public Utility Analyst Manager. And as I mentioned earlier, Judge Scott Morris is out today, so appreciate you taking.
Good morning. You have before you the Utility Enforcement Division's report describing the major tasks, inspections, and activities performed during September. The Railroad Safety Track Inspectors visited 6 rail carriers and identified 47 track defects. The track safety observations found 1 non-compliant condition. There were 82 roadway workers, bridge workers, and practices observed. The Motor Power and Equipment Inspector visited 5 rail carriers, inspected 962 units, and found 153 defects. On page 2, you will see where 6 incidents were reported by the National Response Center. Moving on to the Motor Carrier Services section, 14 vehicle registration numbers were issued and 10 new intrastate authorities were approved. We had 340 insurance filings received for the month. As of September, page 3, Motor Carrier Services staff participated in the UCR board call held in September. There were 4 show cause hearing notices that were sent by certified mail to intrastate carriers for failure to file their 2020 annual reports. And 1 passenger supplement tariff was accepted for Classy Limousine Service, LLC. A compliance audit was completed for Extreme Limousine Service, LLC, and staff attended a passenger carrier hearing for Meridian, LLC to extend their current authority. Last, we have our field services section. The division director, along with Commissioner Oden and a member of his staff, conducted a tour and inspection of Lewis Smith Dam and hydroelectric generating plant. Field services staff met with personnel from community utilities to inspect 3 wastewater treatment systems in Tallapoosa County. No discrepancies were noted at the time of the inspection. Staff also inspected Escambia County Utilities water treatment facilities in the Huxford community. The system appeared to be functioning as designed with no discrepancies. And that concludes my report, unless you want to elaborate.
I want to, if I can, Madam President. So we did go up to the Smith Lake Dam, which, if you haven't seen this structure, is one of the largest earthen dams in the United States, actually. But it is a huge facility. But we hear about all of this power production and stuff, and there's, commissioners, we sit back and we talk about all this green stuff. These dams right here is one of the greenest things we can do. And so the hydropower side is fascinating to me, and I'm so glad we got to see the works going on here and what that staff does. The staff was excellent at the dam, and they really knew what they were talking about. And actually, we stayed all day and toured it and looked at it too. And then right below that is a place you can catch trout in Alabama, and they turn it loose. And so we had to go in there and look at that too. I mentioned that, Madam President. I hope you'll let me. But I just want to thank the staff here and Scott Morris for going with us. It was an excellent tour, and it really did highlight a lot of the hydro stuff that we have in the here in Alabama. And it's phenomenal to look at. I hope we all start looking at some more of that too. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our Electricity Policy Division, represented by Mr. John Free, our Division Director, and Ms. Patricia Smith, our Public Utility Analyst Manager.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
You have before you the Electricity Policy Division's agenda dated October 26, 2021. Ms. Patricia Smith will present the division's normal monthly update on rates RSE and ECR for Alabama Power Company.
Good morning, Commissioners. The first item on our agenda is the division's monthly report on rates RSE and ECR in dockets 18117, 18416, and 18148. Regarding rate RSE, the staff performed its monthly examination of the books and records of Alabama Power Company and determined the reprojected weighted return on average retail common equity was 7.18% for the 12 months ending December 31, 2021. This return is based on 9 months of actual data for January through September 2021 and 3 months of budget data for October through December 2021. For rate ECR, the staff performed the regular monthly review of Alabama Power's energy costs for the month of September 2021 and determined an over-recovery of approximately $9.6 million. Commissioner, this is our report on rates RSE and ECR.
Thank you.
Commissioners, the next item is under docket U5403. On October 15, 2021, Alabama Power Company filed for approval of a new electric service rate schedule, which is referred to as rate FDD, or Family Dwelling Demand. Rate FDD is an optional rate schedule for residential customers and utilizes a ratcheted demand component in addition to a volumetric energy charge. These rate design characteristics are commonly accepted within the electric utility industry and used today by Alabama Power in service offerings to its commercial and industrial customers. Alabama Power has proposed the rate to provide more flexibility to customers interested in managing their energy bills and using electricity efficiently. The proposal also satisfies the directive to the company in the Commission's order in docket numbers U4226 and 32767 to place a residential demand rate on file by October 16, 2021. Alabama Power has requested for the new optional rate to become effective for April 2022 billings in order to allow the company time to integrate the new rate into its billing systems and coordinate implementation of the rate with other related changes. This new option will be available to customers regardless of whether they have changed service rates within the last 12 months, consistent with the company's rules and regulations for electric service. The staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
And the next item is related, and it's under docket U4226. And so on the same day, October 15, 2021, Alabama Power Company filed for approval to revise Rate Rider RGB. The purpose of the revision is to include the new residential rate FDD, which you just approved, as an option for both supplementary power service and backup power service. These revisions are intended to comply, again, with the directive to the company in the Commission's order in docket numbers U4226 and 32767 to modify Rate Rider RGB and include a residential demand rate as an alternative charge for backup power service. Again, Alabama Power has asked for the proposed modifications to RGB to become effective for April 22 billings, consistent with the timing requested for rate FDD. This new option will be available also to customers whether they have changed service rates within the last 12 months, and that's consistent with the company's rules and regulations for electric service. So the staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
That completes our presentation, pending any questions you may have.
Thank you all. Appreciate all your hard work. Next, we have our legal division presented by Administrative Law Judges, Ms. Sue Ellen Young, Mr. Luke Bentley, followed by our Chief Administrative Law Judge, John Garner.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'll take the first five items together as they are non-controversial and routine. The first one is docket C-20158. It's a petition of Greer Enterprises, LLC of Mobile for approval of cargo self-insurance. Second is docket C-20119, petition of Greer Enterprises, LLC of Mobile for reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F3915, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of cargo insurance coverage. I recommend a grant on both of those. Docket C-20084, petition of Jackson's Truck Auto LLC, DBA Jackson's Truck Auto of Aniana, Alabama, for reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F4513, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of liability insurance coverage. I recommend a grant. And docket C-20126, the petition of Mike Sadler, DBA Mike's Record Service of Huntsville, Alabama, for reinstatement of motor carrier certificate F2703, which was revoked due to the petitioner's failure to maintain proper proof of liability and cargo insurance coverage. I recommend a grant reinstatement.
Is that the last one?
That's the last of the first
Or
five.
the five?
Yes.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden. Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
All right, the next item is docket 32995. This is motor carrier application of Hazim H. Salim, DBA Airport Taxi of Huntsville, Alabama, for a certificate to transport passengers. This application was set for hearing in February 26 of 2020, but it was postponed upon the request of Airport Taxi, and no further correspondence has been received by Airport Taxi, and they have not contacted the commission, so I recommend a dismissal of that application.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
I'll take the next four items together.
Okay.
Docket 32691, petition of Wyndham's Tours of Birmingham, Alabama to suspend operations under motor carrier certificate CB73 for an additional period of 1 year. That certificate was suspended for a period of 1 year by the commission order entered in this docket dated July 8, 2020. I recommend grant of an additional 1 year suspension as requested. Docket 29151. This is a petition of Lands Transportation, Inc. of Fort Payne, Alabama for cancellation of motor carrier certificate F2070. Recommend a grant of that cancellation as requested. Docket 32800, petition of Winds LLC of Prattville, Alabama for cancellation of motor carrier certificate F5099. I recommend a grant of that cancellation as requested also.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Okay, I knew there was four and only did three, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, maybe she did.
Docket 32691, petition of Wyndham's Tours, Inc. of Birmingham, Alabama to suspend operations under motor carrier certificate CB73 for an additional,
I think you did that one.
we did that one.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
the,
you had 4 in the first round and said 5.
that's
But
the
you got them
problem.
all.
Yeah.
Got him.
995.
I don't,
She did
Okay,
have
I
hers.
missed the first one, actually, of those. I did miss this one. This is docket 32481. Petition of Scuttle Shuttle LLC of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to suspend operations under Motor Carrier Certificate 4052 for an additional period of 1 year. Their certificate was suspended for a period of 1 year by the commission order entered on July 8th, 2020. Recommend a grant additional 1 year suspension.
Okay, let's go back through
I'm
this.
gonna say all the numbers.
Because I think we've skipped, I think what happened is you said you were gonna do 5 in the beginning, and you did 4. Then you came back in, so we're okay. I think we've covered them all, but just to make sure this motion is correct, I'm gonna.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we've got docket 32481, recommended a grant with an additional 1 year suspension. Docket 32691, and that's a recommend a grant with an additional 1 year suspension. Docket 29151, recommend a grant cancellation as requested. And then docket 32800, recommend a grant cancellation as requested.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
All right, I do have one more item. It's on an off agenda, so it wasn't on the first, it's on the off agenda.
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was dated, that agenda is October 28th, 2021. This is docket 33174. This is an unopposed motor carrier application of Chandra Parker, DBA Premier Cabulance of Valley, Alabama, for a certificate to transport passengers and their baggage. A hearing was held in this matter. The applicant presented evidence sufficient to meet the statutory standards for approval, and they did waive their right to a report and recommended order. I recommend a grant.
So move?
Second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
And there's another off-agenda item. This one's dated October 29th, 2021. This is docket 32094. This is a petition of Greenworks LLC of Coleman, Alabama, to suspend operations under Motor Carrier Certificate F4741 for an additional period of 1 year. This certificate was suspended for a period of 1 year by commission order entered in this docket dated October 7th, 2020. Grant the additional 1 year suspension.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're
Lots of
fine. We
pieces
got
of
it all. We've got it all. Thank you. Appreciate it. And next, we have Mr. Luke Bentley.
Hey, good morning, Commissioners.
Honor.
You got two.
I have
copies, and
a,
there's still one of them.
an easier time because I just have one item this morning. It's on the off agenda from October 29th, 2021. It's under docket 32553, the petition of Community Utilities of Alabama, Inc., for approval to increase its tariff monthly sewer rates and to establish a rate stabilization and equalization regulatory process. Petition was filed on June 1st, 2021, requesting an effective date of July 1st, 2021. The petition was suspended for 180 days to and through December 28th, 2021. The Office of the Attorney General of Alabama intervened in the matter. Parties entered into settlement discussions, those discussions included the commission staff. As a result of these discussions, Community Utilities submitted a filing on October 29th, 2021, indicating that it would accept an order reducing its requested rate increase to reflect a lower return on equity than its proposed petition. And they accepted the lower return was 9.62%, and the one in the petition was 11.55%. This will be applied in 2 equal rate increases, one on January 1st, 2022, and the next on January 1st, 2023. As a part of this agreement, the company would not enter RSE at this time. I recommend approval of the reduced phased-in rate increase agreed upon by the parties as reflected in the company's filing of October 29th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have our legal division represented by Judge Garner, and I assume our administrative items, is that
Yes.
the only one left?
That is correct, Madam President.
Okay.
Those are the only additional items I have, are those reflected on the administrative agenda. I recommend approval of all those items.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cavanaugh.
Yes.
Commissioner Oden.
Yes.
Commissioner Beaker.
Yes.
Does anyone have any new business to come before the commission? With there being no more new business to come before the commission, let me remind you in closing that our next commission meeting is, regularly scheduled commission meeting, that is Tuesday, December the 7th of 2021. Unbelievable, we'll be in December soon. Anyway, quick reminder, turn your phones back on so you don't miss a phone call. And with that, thank you again for attending today. We appreciate it. We stand adjourned. Thank you.
That's the only part I did. I thought they was going into that.